Hey there, everybody. Today I'm going to explain the Florida foreclosure process for you. I'm Tom Day. I've been a licensed agent in Florida since 2006, and I got my start in real estate helping investors purchase foreclosures in the Fort Lauderdale area, and I progressed from there into listing bank-owned properties around 2008. And by 2009, I was just as busy as could be listing these bank-owned properties. And I've been a student of the auction process ever since. The focus of this channel will be, going forward, all about how to make money in Florida foreclosures. More importantly, how not to lose money in Florida foreclosures. Florida foreclosure auctions is risky business if you don't know what you're doing. You need to do proper due diligence. And I will be speaking about that in future videos. For now, I just want to give you an overview of the process. If you are somebody who's behind in your payments and you found yourself on this video, you might benefit from understanding what's going to happen going down the road here for you. I've also helped homeowners avoid foreclosure, and I'm going to leave a link in the description of this video with several key strategies to avoid foreclosure if you're one of those folks. There are essentially 5 phases of the Florida foreclosure process. It begins with a notice of default. In Florida, the notice of default is called the lis pendens notice. Then there's a final judgment hearing, followed by a county auction. And after the county auction, there is a 10-day objection period. And then finally, a title is issued to the winner of that auction. So I'll go a little deeper into all these different phases, starting with the notice of default. As I started to say, in Florida, a notice of default is called a lis pendens notice. Lis pendens is a Latin term. It means suit pending. There are 2 types of foreclosures depending on what state you're in. Some states are called judicial states, in which the lender has to go through the courts. They have to sue the borrower in order to foreclose on them. Not all states do that. Roughly half and half are judicial states. Florida happens to be a judicial state, and which means it takes longer in Florida to foreclose on a borrower. A notice of default, the lis pendens notice, will not go out until the borrower has gone at least 120 days of non-payment. It might be longer before the bank gets around to sending that notice out, but it won't be before 120 days of non-payment. This period is known as the pre-foreclosure period. The lis pendens notice becomes public record. You can find people that have been served lis pendens notices online. Every county pretty much has, I think every county, I don't know for sure, there's so many, I haven't checked every single one of them, but if you do an internet search by county, say it's Palm Beach County. Palm Beach official county records is what you're looking for. You find that website, and then from there you're going to search for lis pendens notices. And you might be able to search by a time period, say the last 30 days or last 60 days, whatever, and you'll find all the folks that have been served some kind of notice of default. Now, lenders do not want to foreclose on borrowers. It's an expensive process for them. It's time consuming. And they really will do whatever they can to work things out with you. It might be some kind of a loan modification for the borrower. They can adjust the terms to make the property more affordable. Maybe you're just not able to make your payments due to a temporary setback. They may suspend payments for a period of time and tack those payments onto the back end. In some cases, where the property is no longer worth as much as what's owed, some kind of a short sale can take place. The lender may agree to allow the property to be sold for something less than what is owed on it. Once the notice of default goes out, it could be anywhere from 3 months to 6 months, and sometimes even longer, when a final judgment hearing will take place. The final judgment hearing is, when the court decides that the lender has supplied the proper paperwork, along with a summation of what is finally owed by that borrower. And the lender is going to tack on, in addition to whatever principal was owed, they're going to tack on interest from the time that the borrower stopped paying, late fees, perhaps forced insurance if the borrower is no longer insuring the property, and then the judge will decide whether whatever that figure is that the lender came up with is fair. And if the judge decides that it's fair, that's what the final judgment amount will be. And the auction date is set. The auction date could be another 30, 60, 90 days out. Rarely is it much beyond that. The county auctions are done primarily online these days in almost all the counties in Florida. There are exceptions. Some counties don't have, a big caseload. Then they'll be done in person, usually at the county courthouse. Now, purchasing a foreclosure at the county auction is high risk. They do not come with a warranty deed. If you don't know what a warranty deed is, that's what you get when you purchase a property, say from a realtor or through the MLS, and you're purchasing title insurance, and you're essentially warranted to have a property that's free and clear of any liens or encumbrances on that property. It's not the case when you purchase at a county auction. But I'm going to go more into depth on all of that in future videos. Anybody that can manage to put a lien on a property can force its foreclosure. Typically, they're first mortgage holders. When a borrower buys a property with a mortgage, that's what's known as a first mortgage. There can be junior liens. Perhaps they got a second mortgage to offset the down payment. Maybe they've gotten a HELOC or home equity line of credit. Those are junior, what's known as junior liens. HOA and condo associations can and will foreclose on a home buyer for non-payment of their monthly fees. Municipalities, if they put a lien on a homeowner's property for any number of things, like primarily code violations, failure to maintain their property, the lawn, improper storage of a boat or an RV or an unregistered vehicles. Those are types of things in which a homeowner can be fined, and often these fines are daily. $100, $200, $300 a day, even higher, and those fines will accumulate to a point where the municipality will foreclose on the homeowner. And finally, there are tax deed foreclosures. Those are kind of separate entity. Those are separate from the first four that I spoke about. And I'll go more into depth on what exactly a tax deed is. But as it implies, if a homeowner doesn't pay their property taxes, eventually that property will be foreclosed on to get those taxes paid. At the auction, either the lender will win the auction and take the property back, In that case, it's what's called an REO. It's a real estate owned by the bank. And they will hire a broker, someone like myself, to liquidate that property for them. Usually that's when they can't get a bid that's at least what the final judgment amount was. If the property gets bid up above the final judgment amount, a third-party bidder it will be the winner of the auction. And a third-party bidder is just whatever investor has registered for the auction ahead of time and put down a deposit. So after the auction takes place, the high bidder does not get control of that property on that day. They're issued what's called a certificate of sale. They won't get control of the property until after this objection period is over. Anybody just about can object to the results of the auction. Typically, it's the owner. They may say that they didn't get proper notice that this auction was going to take place. It could be a tenant that was living there, and they may claim the same thing, that nobody told them that there was going to be an auction, or they just plain don't want to move. Or maybe it's a family member of the owner who's been living in the property. If somebody objects to the auction results and the judge decides that it's a legitimate objection, then that can delay the winner's ability to take control of the property. The winner of that property still has to pay the balance of what's due within 24 hours or 48 hours. But they are now subject to what happens in the courts relating to whoever is objecting to the results of this the auction results. And it's all subject. It's all subject to the caseload. Maybe it's a hearing can be set 30 days, 60 days, whatever. The winners of the auction need to be prepared for delays. If there's no objection to the foreclosure auction, then title is issued to the winner. They're going to get a certificate of title, and as I talked about, it's not a warranty deed. They may have to take steps to quiet title. I'm not going to go into depth of what kind of title issues you could run into or other liens that may become a problem for you. But you can begin to take those steps to quiet title, and you can begin to take your steps for whatever exit strategy you might have in mind, whether it's fix up, resell it, fix it up, rent it, move into it, whatever. You now have control of the property, and you can begin to take your exit strategy steps. Chances are that somebody's living in the property, and you're going to have to take steps to convince them to relocate, either through eviction or offer them some kind of incentive to move out. And as I said, I'm going to go into more deep detail of what you can do in those situations, because that's what I used to do when I was working for the banks. So that's it. That's an overview of the foreclosure process in Florida. Stay tuned. Please subscribe to my channel if this interests you. I'm going to. I have many more subjects to cover, and I'm Tom Day. Thanks for watching.